Good morning, my students. I hope you are doing fine. God bless you. And now we're going to look at what we call opposition to the gospel message, the arrest and martyrdom of Stephen. Now, before we look at this, remember the last class we spoke about the opposition to the gospel, that is the arrest of Peter and John. Today we're going to look at the arrest and martyrdom of Stephen. Now, talking about the arrest and martyrdom of Stephen now. Before we talk about this, remember Stephen was chosen among the 7 deacons, and he was the head of the deacons that were chosen to be in charge of food distribution right there in Jerusalem. Then, when the Hellenist widows complained bitterly that they were being neglected in food distribution, and from there he showed a lot of power, that is showing the strength, working for God. He was one of the best evangelists right there in Jerusalem, and he has performed a lot of signs and wonders right there in Jerusalem. And he was a man full of faith, full of grace and power, and full of Holy Spirit. That is, he was being covered by Holy Spirit. He had the Spirit of God in him. Now, Stephen spoke to a lot of people defending what we call the faith. That is talking about the life and teachings of Christ. And when he had problem was when the people from synagogue of free men came, and they believed that he had been preaching against. They didn't like him, but they believe he had been preaching against the law of Moses and also the temple, and at the same time, he spoke about God. So they believe that he needs to be what? To be checked and also to be punished. And when they discovered that they were unable to achieve their aims based on the wisdom of Stephen, so they decided to get what we call false witnesses against him, so that his accusers will have witnesses, that is, people that were there when he said it. That when he said it, that when he spoke about the temple, when he spoke about the law of Moses, that is the Jewish law, and at the same time against God. So when they presented their witnesses before the Jewish leaders now, these false witnesses spoke about what he said, that he said Jesus Christ will come and destroy the temple, and also Jesus Christ will also change what we call the law of Moses, that is the law that's been handed to death by the man called Moses. And when they put this before the Jewish leaders, they sat there and they told him to come around and defend himself. And when he was speaking, he started with the history of the Jews. Now, he spoke about how he started right there when God was with the people of Israel till the time of Moses, and after the time of Moses. Now, before when they were in the wilderness, then in the days of Moses, there was nothing like temple where they can worship God. Was everywhere. That was what he told them. Then from that, he spoke about the lives till the time when the temple was built in the days of Solomon. And he said that when the temple was built, not that God was dwelling inside the temple, but just for the presence of God to be in the temple. Talking about the speech now. He said the presence of God was right there in the temple. And according to the prophets now, they say that God's throne was right there in heaven, and earth served as his footstool. It means God cannot be confined right there in the temple. Talking about the speech of Stephen to the Jewish leaders now, when he was defending himself, when he had his defense before them. And he now moved forward by saying that the people of Israel even had persecuted the old prophet that spoke to them about Christ, and also spoke to them about the coming of Christ. Even Christ himself was also persecuted. Then from there he now said that the people of Israel are just stiff-necked people, and people that are not, that are uncircumcised people, uncircumcised people with uncircumcised heart and uncircumcised head. That is, they are the ones that have present themselves to be good, but their heart was so dirty, and at the same time they did not listen to the word of the truth from Jesus Christ. So from there, they were just looking for an opportunity in order to do what? To persecute him. But they didn't get the opportunity to do what? To persecute him when he was speaking. Until when he said something that he saw the heaven opened, and he saw the Son of Man standing at the right hand of God. And when this word was made, they were provoked that he mentioned such a blasphemy, because they believed that he had been saying that. They believe is a blasphemy, and they were annoyed, and they dragged him out of the city, and he was what? He was stoned. And the process of stoning him, the people before they stoned him, they dropped their clothes at the feet of the man called Saul. And then when he was being stoned, he said, "Lord Jesus, receive my spirit." And when he was about to die, he said something. He said, "Lord, do not take this sin against them." And he fell asleep. And that was how he was martyred. And that is the end. And it shows that no matter how we are being opposed in the face of the opposition, being opposed in the face of opposition, we shall surely achieve our aim, talking about preaching and talking about the life and teachings of Christ. God bless you. We shall continue this in Google class. The Lord will be with you, and the Lord will also be with me. God bless you. Goodbye.